It's another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Podcast Network. Here we are back once again. This is our Easter edition, Easter Tuesday. This is the best Easter ever because it didn't even really happen. Easter stinks.
You're not an Easter guy? I feel like if you're a fake Catholic, I figure you're an Easter guy.
Well, I mean, I just go back and forth depending on whether I want to be like the Gentile at Barstool and be pro-Catholic, or whether I want to be a man of reason and make fun of it. Easter sucks. I mean,
I choose my arguments based on what I think in the moment.
100%. Which way is the wind blowing? Okie dokie, that sounds good to me.
100% with you. 100% in that boat with you.
I feel like you're an Easter guy because you get to put on, beautiful dresses and you're the belle of the ball.
Kinda. I like Easter. I don't go to mass. That is one of the most freeing moments of an adult life, is when
you stop going to church.
You realize that, like, it was. I think I did it in my one thing I learned about when I didn't go to school on Mondays, and like I had this aha moment where I was like, I can just not go.
Just stop. I'll be honest. I still feel like the pressure.
Dude, I had a buddy. I was live streaming zooming with a buddy the other day who was telling me that he was gonna watch church. We were streaming Saturday night, and he's like, I gotta watch mass tomorrow. So we gotta watch mass tomorrow. He's like, yeah, I feel like the guilt about it. I was like,
now
I'm glad I don't have that part of the brain.
By himself, I don't feel guilt about church. I feel guilt about my mom, like my family, if they want to go.
This is a married adult man with a child.
Oh no. If you want to tell me that, like, your mom is like, come on, honey, let's go to fucking church. It's like, all right, I'm gonna make my mom happy. If you tell me that you feel guilty about like Jesus, are you watching? That's fucking. I'm at a crossroads a little bit with the kids. I don't know whether again, I don't feel guilty, but I'm like, I did CCD, I did all the sacraments. Like, am I gonna do that with them, or am I just gonna say
all of them? But I also faked it. So like my confirmation was all just
sure.
It was.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I came out of it a biblical scholar, but I did.
I came out like a sinner. I came out like I forged all of. You know, I used to do community service for your confirmation. Forged all of it. Just totally made up, 100%. So I faked it on that one. I can't imagine I'm gonna make anyone else fake it if I bring a child into this world.
I mean, I actually I had some friends in CCD and shit like that, but I remember I got so fucked because I moved 3 times in 5th, 6th, and 7th grade, and each time I moved to a new place, they were 1 year later. So like the place I was living, I would have got confirmed in 5th grade, and I moved to a place that was 6th.
5th grade confirmation?
Yeah, it was early.
I didn't confirm till like junior year of high school.
No, the latest I think was like 7th grade, but there would have been one that was like going into 6th, and then I moved and it became 6th, and I moved and it became 7th, and I just had to keep fucking going.
I think I was a year late. I believe I did it my junior year of high school. I think I was or maybe it was my sophomore year of high school. But I had changed high school, so that was why I was late. But it definitely would have been high school no matter what.
Did you do like CCD, or did you, because you were at a Catholic school, you were like doing that?
No, because all the way up until then I'd been at public school, so I did CCD my whole life basically. I went to Catholic school for high school.
What did you guys call it? Central City Dump?
No, just CCD.
That was the big one.
The only interesting thing I ever learned in CCD was what fucking. What do you call it when a girl farts out of her pussy?
Oh, really? You're gonna make me say it?
Yeah, what is it? You know what it is. No, I swear to God, I don't.
It's queen with an F.
Queef, yes.
Yeah.
The only my CCD teacher taught me what a queef was. That was it. It was like, were your CCD teachers all like young people? Like, it was just like a girl who was fucking around. Not young enough to be talking about queefing. She was fucking hot. So she was like in like high school. I was in like 6th grade. Hey. She was hot. She's like, yeah, girls fart out of their pussy. Like, what?
That's There's still a few words that really get me. I've come around on cunt. I feel like even as of like a couple years ago, I would be like the C word. twat really gets me bad. I don't like that word.
Twat's got some stank on it.
Yeah, and like literally, and so does queef. It's like, oh, God.
Yeah, I can see those. That makes sense.
And they're all from the same family tree. It's all like really derogatory words revolving around your pussy.
Yeah, anything with a vagina kind of freaks me out a little bit.
Let's talk about some cock, though, man.
Yo, how about this? This is a real tangent we've gone on here from Easter.
Big time. This was supposed to be the Easter discussion.
I was reading a Reddit thread the other day about what happens if you die on your period, and morticians gotta pull that shit out.
Yo, see, this is the problem, by the way, with the internet. People talk about the internet and what was that original term? The information superhighway and all you can learn and stuff. It's like, yeah, you could be learning like multiple languages and scientific theorems and shit. What we're learning about, what happens when you die with your pussy bleeding? Like, fucking, I mean, that's not necessary. We don't need to learn those things at all.
Imagine you're a fucking mortician and you find a chick who'd been, you don't personally find her, but she ends up on, or maybe you personally find her. I don't know. I don't know what morticians do in their free time, but she comes on like, sir, we found a dead body. She's been dead for 2 weeks. Looks like she was menstruating, and you got to fucking pull a 2-week-old fucking tampon out of there.
Okay. Jiminy fucking cricket. We are way off target here. This is
anyway, I do enjoy Easter. It's nice.
I do enjoy a good pastel fucking blazer. So yeah, I like Easter. Easter sucks. It's the worst of all holidays. Any holiday where the religion still takes a front seat. Like Christmas is like, yeah, Jesus is born, whatever. Trees, Santa, presents, yeah. Easter is still all about motherfucking rising from the dead. That's way too much for me. Way too much. Yeah. I mean, like, I really got a shock of when we were doing when a week ago when Corona, people were still getting together for church and they were all pulling out of the driveway going, I am bathed in the blood of Jesus. I was like, that's so far-fetched. Like, there's a lot of shit in religion that we let slide. But for people to be running around saying, I'm covered in his blood, that feels like a cult to me. Yet, it's still, like, very mainstream to be like, today's the anniversary of that guy coming back to life.
I mean, like, very mainstream is really underselling it, Kevin. It is one of the bigger holidays.
I mean, it's, yeah. Like when we talk about the big picture of religion of like be good to each other and all that shit, yeah, that makes sense. But for the mainstream, one of the 2 main days to be like, this is resurrection and he rolled out of the tomb, fucking crazy that we have billions of people believing this shit.
Yeah, that's a lot.
How dumb are the humans? We are idiots. So that's why today's actually a perfect episode for the guest that we have. Because I know he believes that humanity is as stupid as can be. Finally, a big guest, one of our white whales I've been tracking down for a while. Chris Delia is finally on the show. And actually, we're just going to get right into it right now. I'm not going to keep you waiting. Chris Delia is brought to you by a little Miller Lite.
Hey, now.
Because, Miller Lite's all about...
That's a good open right there.
You know what? It's because I'm a grown man and I know how to do it. Every time. Won't struggle even for 1 second, John. So we're going to sit down with Chris, and we're going to talk to him because that's what you do. You open up a Miller Lite, and you chat with your buddies about the good stuff, the bad stuff. You catch up on a Zoom. You find out what's going on in their life.
We had a tailgate this weekend, me and my buddies with Miller Lites.
Did you?
Yeah, we tailgated the Farm Aid concert with Dave Matthews and
I like that.
Camp and a couple others.
See, that's fun, what you got to start doing. It's like happy hour was one thing. Virtual happy hour. Now you got to have virtual tailgates and maybe virtual drinking games and virtual, whatever. You know what you need to do? Oh, that's what you need to do. Guys need to have like the virtual aspect has me rethinking the list of best beers. You know, we always talk about like the best, beer after you work, the beer after you do your lawn, all that shit. We need the virtual sneak out beer. So like it's Easter and everyone's like at the house maybe, and you run into like the back bedroom with your Zoom on your phone, and you're just like, "Yo, dude, what's going on?" Yeah, I got 1 beer in me. I got to chug it down right here. Or even that, like I used to meet up with guys at Grand Central before we would go home, and they'd have time for 1 beer. and they would aggressively drink it. They'd be like, I got to get home before, before bedtime for the kids. So I want to have the virtual after work beer. So I'm just gonna Zoom my friend at like 5:45, and we have 15 minutes. Just put down a Miller Lite, and all of a sudden we're done. Because all the different types of beers there are now, maybe you can't have the beach beer and the the tailgate beer, but you can have it in all sorts of different ways. So pop on your Zoom, grab a box of Answer the Internet, open up a Miller Lite, and share the new versions of your best beers, because quarantine beers, that's there on the list. In a time where you can't find much happiness, there's not much to do, quarantine beers are certainly at the top of the list. And anytime you're drinking a beer, Miller Lite is numero uno. It's brewed in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, from Miller Brewing Company. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Make sure you celebrate responsibly. You can get it delivered right to your door with no contact delivery. So Miller Lite will now just magically appear at your doorstep. Crack one open and enjoy Chris Delia on KFC Radio. So, all right, KFC Radio, we finally got Chris Delia, who we've been trying to track down for a couple years. And I feel like quarantine kind of made it happen, because it was like, we'll just do it over the computer now. So I guess there's some good to come out of it.
It's good. Yeah. It's funny. I don't like to leave my house, but now that the quarantine thing is happening, all I want to do is get out of my house.
All right. Are you itching?
Delia, I was saying that the other day. I've learned that my fetish, my sickness, I don't like doing nothing. I like not doing other things. That's
I like how you phrase that. That's good.
Like, I don't like watching Netflix. I like procrastinating and not like going outside and doing the things I'm supposed to be doing.
Very interesting. That being one of the first things you told me about yourself is very telling, and honestly, probably all I need to know. And you're my type of guy. You're my type of guy. That's good.
So what? You're the opposite. You always just hang out, but now that you're forced to, you're like, just let me get out. I want to go out. I want to go out.
I can't say I don't like to leave the house. I like to go. I like to be among people, but not with the people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Which
very much.
Why stand-up is so great for me, because I'm among the people, but I am not in any of the groups. I'm alone on stage, and they're in the groups.
Yeah, that's kind of. In fact, that's another thing we were recently talking about. With like, that's why I miss bars, because being at a bar, right, like you can be alone, but like you're still not alone, right? Like I can just be sitting there quietly with a friend, maybe, or quietly alone, and there's still plenty of action going around me, plenty of stuff happening, but I'm just not. Yeah. I don't feel so isolated.
I want to be the guy. I want to be the guy at the bar that's like in the back of the bar with my back towards everybody, and then when they mention something mysterious, I turn around and I start talking about it.
You weren't there back when it first happened.
Exactly. Yeah. I remember those days. Yeah,
business has been good for you, huh, man? I mean, season 2 was a hit. Obviously, the comedy thing has been popping. So, I mean, you've been doing this for a long time now, though, right?
Yeah, it's weird to say that I've been doing it for a long time, because it still feels like, when I was, it's been 14 years. I think it'll be 14 and a half years, and it's just a weird thing to think about. I remember when I was the new guy. I think it's kind of like being young. I mean, you guys are probably young. You're younger than me, but like, I still feel like a young guy, but I just turned 40. So like, I mean, I'm young as it pertains to your whole life, but I talked to my dad the other day, and he's 72, and he's like, I still feel like a young guy. I still feel like I'm new in this comedy, in the stand-up business, but I'm not really.
Well, that's what the comedy world is, a weird one, because it's, in sports, it's like you run through your prime and you can't play anymore, you're retired.
Yeah.
Comedy, I'm sure you have a prime of some sorts, but you can do it for fucking ever. So
I feel like guys who are I feel like guys really hit their prime when they're in their 50s. You look at the guys who are really doing it right now that are in their 50s. Joe Rogan, Bill Burr, not Brian Callen, but these guys, they're in their 50s and they're killing it, and it's their best time. And I think that guys like that, as long as they stay in the clubs and not become a touring theater act, you stay relevant and you stay good, because you got to go against guys. You got to go, not against, but you got to follow guys that are coming up and current and in the new scene of comedy that you might lose touch with if you don't constantly check in and pop into the Comedy Store and stuff like that.
You think it's better?
I know that I think I've heard that it was a knock on like Eddie Murphy, where once he popped off, it was like he couldn't relate anymore, or maybe it was Chris Rock.
you know, I don't know, but I can imagine that I always joke on my podcast that that's my fucking goal, dude. Is to look at another. I remember this was years ago now, but Curb Your Enthusiasm. Jesus, his name is escaping me like an idiot. What
Larry David?
Larry David. Fucking, I'm gonna burn in hell for that. But Larry David. I introduced myself to him, and you know, of course, I'm not even close to as big as Larry David, but I had no idea who I was, and I was like, "That's my goal: is to be that big and unaware of who's got Netflix specials." That's amazing. You made it.
Is a Netflix special? Are you about to lose touch with us?
I hope this is the one.
Yeah, I mean, see you never, dude. Thanks for the time, but
I hope I see you guys in like 3 months, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, I just don't remember who.
Now, was it weird for you to? I mean, how long ago was Whitney? That was a while ago, right?
Yeah,
and I mean, I feel like if you told me now that Chris D'Elia and Whitney Cummings were doing a show together, it would be like, holy fucking shit, stop the presses. And back then, was it just like a little too soon, you think? Or like when you
I was 30, so it was 10 years ago. Jesus Christ. And it was 10 years ago, and no, you know, people didn't know who we were. And I remember that show was promoted everywhere, you know, and that and my first special came out in like the same year. And then the next year, like social media became a thing for me, and I was like, oh, I got to get on the social media train. All those things kind of like aligned and helped me, you know, kind of get a fan base.
Did you feel like you had like made it when that show started, or were you still like, this is just the beginning?
I'm starting to get that question. When do you feel like you made it? And I always say, I'll let you know. I don't feel like I made it yet. And I think that that's a good feeling to have, though. I feel like if you feel like you made it, maybe that's the beginning of losing touch. As a comedian, you just can't lose touch. You can't you can't, some comedians get so big and they're just so famous and they are able to remain grounded. And some, I guess, aren't. I don't know. But
that's some Tom Brady shit. People ask Tom Brady, what's your favorite ring? He says the next one.
Yeah, fuck off, Tom Brady. Fuck off. But it's also such a weird industry where it's like, you know, how could you think you made it when there's like a Chappelle and a Rock and there's always some megastar who's ahead of you.
Yeah.
That,
I mean, I think that there's very few guys that kind of become as big as Chappelle or Chris Rock and are still. It still feels like they have stuff that they didn't do yet. Like, ooh, you know, they're still the cool guy to like. And that's a hard thing to pull off, you know? I mean, it's very easy for people to be like, all right, another special from this guy, who gives a shit? But those guys, you know, those two and a few more are just, they have that factor. I don't know what it is that they're just to have something more to say.
Do you think the factor is, and this is probably kind of a chicken or the egg thing, where it's like why you need to hear everything they have to say is because they're not on social media and like they don't have podcasts? And
I think that does. I do think that does help it. I mean, I don't think that's all it is, but I do think that does help it. Like, but for guys like me, I mean, I think most of the comedians are using social media to become that guy. But
they were already huge, and
right.
Oh, I don't have to get on this. I'm big enough. And then it's kind of added to the allure. Like, they don't do anything. It's crazy. Like, whenever they step in, you need to hear it.
I think you have to have a little bit of mystery about you to be that guy. And it's really hard for a comedian to have that kind of mystery because a comedian is supposed to just lay it all out there on stage.
Mm-hmm. You know what I like from you that I feel like gives you a little level of that is having no guests on the podcast.
Yeah, that was honestly out of me not wanting to have to rely on people coming. And I also there's like a few guys in my circle that I can do bits with, and I feel like they add to it and I add to theirs. You know, you have like you guys have it together, but like, you know, so you mesh with some people and some people you don't. And it's like, you know, after 10 of my friends coming on the podcast, I don't know who would be next. And I think that it's fun to like make up these bits and do silly shit. And I can't do that with if I have who on the and some actor on the show that I don't know, some guy from NCIS, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Listen, if we're taking on the NCIS guests, we got to change course. We got to do something different.
It's the most popular show on television. What do you mean you got to change course? They're the fucking right.
It's been that was actually a joke in the show Whitney when she made a joke. She said, "Oh, what all you do is watch NCIS," and I added, it's the #1 show on television. That's so funny that you said that. That was a joke we did in Whitney.
It is. It's like I don't watch it, but when people are like, "Oh, who cares?" Like, apparently everybody cares.
Yeah, everybody, I know.
Biggest show in the world. That has been fucking Big Bang.
Before we hopped on here, we were just talking about the latest stupid fucking thing on social media of the day, which I feel like you're pretty plugged into. Yeah. But the latest that went viral was that it's gay to order dessert. That
was today. Was that today?
Was it today? Yeah. Yesterday. We talked about it today, but yeah.
I just saw that like a few hours ago. Yeah, on Twitter or something, was it?
Yeah, she said if you order dessert, it's a red flag, and that men are supposed to eat meals with no appetizers and no dessert. And if you do that, she starts to question your masculinity. If
you order an appetizer and dessert, that's like so 1930s to think that way. Like to be like for men to like not eat. That's like remember in The Sopranos when when they were like, when they had that whole thing where it was like, yeah, I go down on you. I eat pussy, but I don't want guys to know because that's gay.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's so manly to do that. And it's so manly to eat the most food.
Like, so she said, I would rather my man order 2 main entrees and get all his food that way than get an appetizer and a dessert.
Imagine if it was reversed and the guy was like, no, a girl orders a fucking salad.
Yeah. Oh. You know what? We should do a little social experiment. That's what I'm going to tweet out. If you order an appetizer and a meal, you're a fat bitch. Done. See how that goes.
If I went on Twitter and I said, if you're a girl and you're on a date, you order a fucking salad. If I said that on Twitter, that's it.
Over.
But I was saying, like, I agree with her to an extent. There are dainty aspects to the dessert. If you were to name one course of the meal, the feminine course, the dessert is the one you're going to say.
Now,
don't get me wrong. I eat the hell out of it. I'll eat it.
All right. That's okay. Yeah, sure. Yes. Comedically, that's funny. Yeah. It's funny. Yeah. No, okay. Sure. Yeah. I guess it's like to think about Jason Statham in an action movie being like, yeah, I'll have the tiramisu. It's like not, yeah,
with the little raspberry drizzle. Like,
right.
We get it. What would you say has been like your biggest social media moment? As a, you still obviously think of yourself as a comedian, right? Like comedian first, actor second.
Yeah. I mean, I'm doing more roles now and stuff, and but yeah, I think comedian is where my heart is. Yeah.
I feel like the Eminem shit was just wild, though.
Yeah, that was bonkers, man. I mean, I was just talking to somebody about this, but it's like the goal is as a comedian to get your own TV show or to get the special or to sell out a tour or whatever it is. And those are all the things that when they happen, it's amazing, but it's the goal. In the back of your head, some part of you is thinking, I'm going to be able to do this and I'm going to accomplish this. But stuff like, hey, Eminem called and wants you to be in his music video and play him. And not only that, he wants to play you is not the goal, because you would be a crazy person if I was like, yeah, I'm going to do stand up because one day I'm going to play Eminem in a video.
Right.
That stuff is always the extra special stuff that hits you, that blindsides you, and is just like, just so special, man.
Yeah,
you know what it is? You know what it is? It's the dessert.
I feel like just like if you just didn't say the word Papkins, like who knows? You know what I mean? Like the littlest butterfly effect and the littlest thing can change course of everything.
I mean, I did that on my drive-through. I don't know if I was waiting for like my girlfriend or something. I mean, this was at least 3 years ago at this point.
Was it?
That I did the video, yeah, because I wasn't in this. I was in another house, and I have been living in this house for
shit.
Yeah. I was in my driveway of my old house. Yeah, I know. It was though. It must have been. So, and it got. I put it on Instagram, and I was just like whatever. I think his album came out. Something came, and I was like, maybe this will get some traction because people were talking about Eminem for something earlier in the week, and then it got a lot of traction. People, and then like a month or two later, Black Twitter ran with it, and they were like, this dude says this is how Eminem raps. And then it got really big, and then Eminem retweeted. My buddy hit me up and he wrote, "Bro, Eminem," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" I texted him, and he was like, he tweeted about you, and I was like, and I looked, and I was like, I mean, I was just in. It was like, what?
Yeah, I mean, he's the type of guy like. He's kind of like the Chappelles of the world, where like you don't hear from him much. He's pretty reclusive. For him to like pick that and come out of like hiding, basically, that's fucking wild shit.
In my head, I was like, to me, it's what makes him one of the best. It's like he can poke fun at himself. There's so many rappers that are just like, I mean. Rappers are not known to have a sense of humor, Right. So when they do, it's great. People,
they're hyper masculine. They don't know what to deserve.
No, Eminem ain't ordering the cheesecake. No way. I mean, it's in a way, it's kind of the polar opposite of comedy. Like, there's no self-deprecation. You're never clowning yourself. You're always lying the opposite. You're saying how big you are and like tough you are. So the fact that he came down and did that is pretty fucking wild.
You said at the start of that like it's something that kind of caught my ear was you were like, the dream is still is a have your own show. Is that still like a dream? Like are you like I hope that
it's not the goal. I don't think it's the goal even for a lot of comedians anymore. I think the goal is to have a successful following, and you don't, in the 90s you needed a TV show for that. Mm-hmm. Talk about Seinfeld, you talk about King of Queens, this kind of stuff. You needed that, and you don't now. As a matter of fact, more people watch a lot of our podcasts than shows on certain networks. So, that's the goal.
I think there was a time where people a couple years ago would say like, I don't even want a TV show. And they were kind of like, but if you offered me one, I would definitely take it. Yeah. And now I think it's getting to the point where it might not be the best use of your time. No, because there's just other ways to make money and build your following.
I would not do a TV show right now unless it was either my idea that I wanted to do or something that was really interesting to me. But to take a role on a sitcom, I just would not do that.
What about writing it? Or like if somebody came... Yeah, or the bag was fucking huge.
Yeah. But honestly, you make more money on the road. You make more money on the road. You make more money on on the podcast, man. Like, it's just, TV money is not the bag anymore, unless you write it and produce it as well, which I'm developing something now. I got 2 things that I'm developing, and if either of those go, they would just be so fun.
Any more insight on that, or you're not talking about it yet?
I can't, but you guys are gonna love it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like whatever it is will be a success.
I've been wanting to do something like this for quite some time, and I think that especially like your fan base, your guys's, I think that you'll be really excited about it. So
the new special's out now. No Pain.
Yeah.
How many Netflix specials have you done now?
This is my 3rd Netflix special that I dropped, unless you count. Well, that wasn't really a special, but that Comedians of the World thing.
Right.
And then my first special was on Comedy Central.
Is there any level of like? I feel like getting the Netflix special is a first goal, but once you're on to like your 3rd, I mean, are you gonna do theoretically like 7, 8, 9, or is there some sort of like cutoff where eventually it's not like diminishing returns?
No, I don't know. I mean. The goal is always to, it's great that I know my fans are going to watch it, but that first week of it's on the homepage, people are going to be like, oh yeah, this is the guy from You or whatever. Let's see what it's all about. those are the people that I'm trying to get. And you know, I'm still, you know, I mean, I'm really fortunate. I'm able to pack shows, but there's always bigger venues, so I want those people too.
I mean, you could be like a Brian Callen, you know what I mean? It could be worse.
Right, it could be worse, yeah. But no, I just feel like, you know, I do stand up for me. I like to, you know, make specials because it's like a marker in my life, you know, and so I don't know how many I'll do, but you know, I think every 2 years or so it's been for me, and that seems good for now, you know.
Is that shit that gets negotiated? You mentioned how it'll be on the front page. Are you like, I want a week on the front page, or is Netflix like, here's what?
No, that's just that's just always household by household. Like if somebody watched, I think if somebody watched you and also another Netflix movie I did called Little Evil, then my thing would be suggested to them. You know what I mean?
Did you play a pedophile on that one too? Because you went on a hot streak there, bro.
I know that's 2 pedophiles. Yeah, 2 pedophiles.
Are you? Was there a part of you deep down in places maybe you wouldn't admit that's like, hey, it's pretty good to have a special coming out in the middle of quarantine?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, you know, I of course I wish that this wasn't happening, but I guess that's some of the silver lining of it. I mean, people have to be home, so I guess I kind of lucked out in that way. I mean, I hate to say, of course, I hate what's happening in the world, but if there was one time for people to be home, you know,
not too bad. Silver lining, like you said. Yeah. So yeah, the new special is on Netflix now. You can see it, No Pain. And be on the lookout for whatever this big project is, because I think Chris is right. I think it's gonna be right up our fans' alley. So we appreciate it, man. Thanks so much.
Thank you, man. It's nice to finally talk to you guys.
Yeah, man. It's been a long time coming, so very happy to finally do it. A big thanks to Chris Delia for coming on. That interview was brought to you by Roman. Roman swipes are clinically proven to help you last longer in bed. They have finally scientifically figured out a way to figure out man's greatest struggle. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, if when we were born, if we were just told, like as a little kid, like, hey, son, you don't have to worry about lasting long. They've made a product that's going to fix this for you. I probably would have grown up with so much less anxiety.
I probably would have had a lot more questions from my dad, to be honest. like, dude, just tell me what the sperm does. I don't need to know about fucking dick lasting.
Maybe not when we're kids. Maybe when you have the birds and the bees talk, and then like a year later, you'd be like, hey, son, I'm pretty sure you've been sucking at sex for the first year. Here's how you fix it. But yeah, listen, the problem, we fixed the problem of ED. Now your dick is strong. Now you got to fix the problem of how long sex lasts. We've done that too. Roman swipes, you open them up, you wipe them on, it desensitizes your dick. It actually trains you to last longer, so eventually you don't even need the swipes. It's easy to use, it's fast acting, and it does not require a prescription. It can ship to you in discreet, unmarked packaging. It's easy to hide in your wallet, in your pocket, your bedside table, whatever. It does not transfer to your partner. And super easy to use and makes sex that much longer and that much enjoyable. Go to GetRoman.com/KFC to get your first month of swipes. Just $5 when you choose a monthly plan. That's GetRoman.com/KFC. $5 swipes when you order yourself a monthly plan. I knew Delia would have some thoughts on that chick who hates desserts, but I mean, honestly, it's one of the more insulting questions I've ever heard in my life. And I got big thoughts on this one.
Humongous thoughts, Kevin.
I mean, enormous thoughts, especially, coming from me, fucking, king of the skinny fat bloggers. Dessert is near and dear to my heart. And Feidelberg just put up a blog today with a viral tweet from this chick, Miss Aquafina was her name on Twitter. And she said one of the most offensive things I think I've ever read on the bird. A guy ordering dessert on a date is a red flag for me. That's a female thing to do for real. If a guy's on a date with a woman, the woman should be the only one asking for appetizers and dessert. Men eat meals, capital meals. Like, seriously, you can just taste some of whatever I ordered. I would seriously rather date an N-word, or I would rather an N-word order 2 meals than order an appetizer before his meals. If you're that damn hungry, you look sassy ordering a spinach dip. I can just hear Wallow being like, You guys ordered spinach artichoke dip. You spicy.
I mean, look, there's a lot to unpack here.
I got a feeling you're gonna say you agree with her.
Objectively, she's right.
Get out of here! Get out of here!
Look. A dessert is a dainty thing. It comes out on a small little dish. You eat it with a small little spoon. You put it in the middle of the table. Everyone has a try, like your fucking girlfriend, and everyone's tasting it. There's a little. They put a little fruit on there, maybe like a single blueberry and a raspberry
with a drizzle.
All right, little drizzle. They're dainty. There's no doubt about it. Now, if I want a dessert, I'm gonna get dainty with it. I don't give a shit. But there are certain aspects to what she's saying that I don't disagree with. A dessert is a rather feminine. If you had to put one part of the meal that was feminine,
sure,
dessert, for sure.
But dead last would be the appetizer. I mean, I guess if you're including salad, that's dainty. But to me, appetizers are wings, mozzarella sticks, potato skins. Like, they're the most like bar food there is.
Yeah, she's dead wrong on the appetizers. Dead wrong. And she says in it, she's like, men order meals. Yeah, I know. That's why I get fucking 4 of them every time I sit down. I get 3 or 4 appetizers. Usually the 4th one, I'm just like, why did I even want a fucking bruschetta? I don't even like this.
I know. Especially when you have it like delivered. You ever get bruschetta takeout? It's like this is just like hunks of bread that are like now stale, but they're not supposed. Terrible idea. But you're a fucking. The more food you order is like the more manly, and when it's like I need my pre-meal before my meal, I feel like is not dainty at all.
No, and when I sit down for a meal, I'm ravenous. I forget to eat. I haven't eaten yet today. It's 4:17. I forget to eat all the time. I just don't eat. And so when I finally sit down, I'm like a little feral kid found in the German woods who's just like. That's why I have such bad heartburn. Where it's just like
you're like the little girl in that movie, the like 15th Wolverine movie, Logan. You ever watch that movie where she just like eats and kills and that's it?
Right. I sit down at a meal, I dump hot sauce all over it, I inhale it, and then the rest of the night I go, boy, I got bad heartburn. You idiot. No kidding, you got heartburn. I wonder why you possibly have digestive issues, you dumb fuck. But so like I 100% get all that. So I'm very much pro appetizer. But the dessert's a little gay. The dessert's a little gay. Let's just say it.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Go ahead. Get your sorbet, Rick. Enjoy it, fucking gay boy.
Yeah. I mean, yes. When you like break open the shell and the goo falls out.
Yeah, you little bit gay. Get my dessert.
Yeah, there's a lot of dipping involved. There's a lot of like wet involved. I get it, but also
this is, by the way, getting it. The fact that we both even get this, that eating a cheesecake is for homos, it shows how difficult life is as a heterosexual male in the 21st century. Everyone goes on starting like your first day of kindergarten wondering if you put on a shirt you like until you're 31 years old wondering what kind of desserts you like. You're just constantly in fear that enjoying this thing makes you a homosexual.
Right. Exactly. I mean, I got enough trouble as it is. I got enough things to worry about. I put on you hop in the radio, you hear a fucking boy band tune, and you got to pretend you don't like it. Right. I have a whole list of songs that I call my guilty pleasures. I don't feel guilty about one of them. I got to worry about my clothes. I got to worry about my music. Don't even get me started on what I prefer in the bedroom. That's a whole fucking host of issues. I might just be a straight up gay man. And now all of a sudden I can't eat dessert without being a fucking F word.
Yeah, it's so hard being a man. You like see-through shirts and you like gay music and you like getting fucked in the ass. All of a sudden I'm gay.
What's wrong with a little anal penetration and chocolate cake, all right? What's the fucking issue?
Here I am just trying to be a guy kissing dudes, and everyone's like, hey, you get it.
Yeah, sure, maybe I'm at dinner wearing a thong and some underwire. And yeah, maybe I want to eat the chocolate molten cake, but I'm a fucking straight dude, okay?
I like to start every Sunday by putting a donut on my boyfriend's dick, then eating it off, and all of a sudden I'm a homo.
Oh my god! You suck one dick and eat one tiramisu, and next thing you know, you're bi-curious. Jesus Christ! I can't even imagine.
Since when did liking the taste of cum on your cake make you gay?
I don't know. This is one thing that I'm not really sure where. What was the response? What were girls saying? Because has this been
I don't know
something?
about girls, guys were like, "Come on, lady."
Okay. Because I'm wondering if this is a prevalent thing. Usually, I know we have enough female listeners and we're plugged in enough that I can usually tell you what girls are gonna think. The masses, stereotypically. But if this is something that's been going on, like at all the girl meetings, if they've been sitting around going, "Can you believe these fucking faggots are ordering dessert?" then I'll tell you what. I've been doing it wrong for like 20 years because every time I go out, I'm like, I'll take a look at the menu. Yeah. Oh, you don't want something? Oh, let's just order both and maybe we'll pick at it. I can't believe she said.
I agree with that. I see that because girls, it feels like it is women typically who are like, yeah, we'll take the menu. Because every time it's never me. And I shoot fucking death rays at whoever is like, yeah, because it's been, I've talked about this a million times. Like,
You're out.
Dessert, eat dinner and get the fuck out of here. Like, I want to go to another bar. I'll go to a bar in that restaurant. I just do not want to be in my seat anymore.
I'm with you on that, but I also sometimes part of like finishing that meal to me is fucking. I'm not gonna go out to dinner with you and get a dessert, but if I go out to dinner with my girl, especially if it's like a birthday dinner or an occasion, I also like the espresso martini. So usually that's like a dessert thing. But to me, I'm usually if it's a nice restaurant and I think they have like some bomb dessert, I'm gonna take a look. I'm gonna be like, let me take a look at that menu. And if for the past 20 years, every time I do that, girls have been like, let me text my roommate under the table, like, can you believe he's ordering the fucking cheesecake with the raspberry? Like,
I just can't stop attracting gay guys. Samantha, it happened again. Can you believe this? He got a chocolate chip cookie with ice cream on it. He got a Mississippi mud pie cake. It's unbelievable. I just can't.
You know what? That's the other thing. The names certainly do sound pretty gay.
Oh, Mississippi mud pie is a fire cake.
Mississippi mud pie sounds like you're butt fucking a hillbilly man. Like, so I gave him the Mississippi mud pie and, it went wrong. But boy, if dessert makes you gay, I am fucking Liberace, man. I am. Watch out. So, fuck off, Miss Aquafina.
By the way,
I can't believe she says, by the way, I think the gayest thing of all, because it's the biggest chick move, is to have a bite of what you're having.
Oh, that's the word. I forgot about that part.
This same girl who won't let me order a cheesecake is not going to judge me if I lean over and say, "Can I just have a little bit of yours?" Yeah, fucking right.
That's not how ordering food works, ladies. You order your food, I'll order my food. If I love it, I'll say, "Hey, would you like a taste?" But you don't. It's not carte blanche. You don't have the ability to reach over the table. I'll share it with you if I deem it necessary. If I deem you worthy or the food worthy. But you can't just be like, "Oh no, I'll just pick at some of yours." No, you won't. It's mine.
You shall not. And like, I would rather you just order it and fucking not eat it than the opposite. You know what I mean?
That's such an interesting look into like the female psyche because they don't order the food even when they're hungry because they don't want to look fat. Whereas guys will be like, "Or I guess I'm worried about looking gay, but fucking
let's
bring
go.
Bring me that rice pudding. Let me try that real quick. In that bitch too."
Now rice pudding is just like you're eating a bowl of cum. I get it. That one's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, but it's so good.
So good. I mean, what we're learning here, and the gays are probably sitting around laughing all the way to the bank. They're like, yeah, we've been eating dessert and stimulating the fucking prostate our whole lives. This shit is great. You fucking straights don't know what you're doing. Goodness gracious, everything's gay these days. I mean, at what point does everything just become everything's just gay and you're just lame if you're straight? I think it's pretty lame to be straight right now.
Oh, it's super lame to be straight.
Right? So like, can you imagine like 20 more years from now? It's gonna be like, you fuck pussy.
Yeah, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. It's nice to like not be oppressed and I can get any job I want and shit like that. But
that's old hat. Give it 2 more decades. That ain't gonna be happening.
I like in a couple of decades.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, you still pop down below the Mason-Dixon line. You go.
Well, yeah.
You go into to get a job with a little stank on your resume, and guess what? They're like, this guy's homosexual. He's not working here.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but that's
But in social situations, boring as fuck.
Yeah, big time. Like and you know what else is crazy? Why are the gays in unbelievable shape? What's that about?
I think I actually heard a comedian do a joke about this once, long time ago. I remember I was at a hockey camp. I was at a hockey tournament. And I was just in my hotel watching like late night comedy, and it was like he said something to the effect of like, every guy in his life has a moment where he's like, "Am I gay?" And most guys say no, or some guys say no and go about living their lives. Some guys say yes and go about being gay. Other guys say no and then just start using weights to push it down. And they just go to the gym like, I'm not gay. And then eventually those guys do come out.
And they're just in awesome shape.
And they're just in great shape. Yeah.
I feel like being gay for so long had enough of like a taboo or like we were just talking about this a couple weeks ago. Someone else made a joke about how like sex, like gay sex used to be like exciting because it was, who was it?
Louis guy.
Yeah, Louis in his special was like, yeah, it had to be so much more exciting when you had to sneak around or when your family didn't approve of it. And I think part of it
is so funny where he's like, how fun is it fucking your husband in your house?
Right. And that I think that goes hand in hand with being hot too. I feel like it used to be like, well, we're going to have to go to the club and I got to find a guy there because I can't be open about it in other situations. So I better have my six pack and I better be jacked because when I go to the club, I want him to pick me. Well, once it becomes mainstream, there's going to be fat gay guys and skinny fat gay guys and all sorts of shit. And it ain't going to be the same. I think we're going to have it's going to be too cool. And then it's going to become lame and it's going to be like straight's the hotness.
So I don't know if I'll be around. I don't know if I'll be fuckable by the time being straight is cool.
No, but we could come back around and be like, maybe we'll be old and gross, but it'll be like, wow, you heard John? He's fucked pussy his whole life. Like, that's crazy. He didn't even experiment at all. Being a gold star straight is eventually going to be the cool thing. Like, not even one dick in my whole life, I swear, man. So, yeah, eat your dessert. Do whatever. We're all just becoming one big fucking we're just converging into like sexual Pangea all of a sudden. Today is Tuesday, so we're gonna get into our KFC Radio Tuesday top fives. It's brought to you by Death Wish Coffee. Death Wish Coffee has double the amount of caffeine of your regular coffee. So all you pussies who are still trying to go to your like craft gourmet place, you're not even getting the real shit anymore because Death Wish Coffee is the only way to kickstart that day and make sure you take quarantine by the fucking neck and dominate it. They've got it every which way. You can get the whole beans. You can get it ground up into the I don't even know what do you call that? Ground up beans, ground up coffee beans. They've got the death coffee beans. Yeah. They've got the death cups for if you got the Keurig, and they've got in cans the cold brew. You can either get black or lightly sweetened. I've been rocking the lightly sweetened, and I'm not even a coffee guy. I open that up and ready to rock. Death Wish Coffee, great name, great branding. Coffee every which way you can get it. 300 great mug that they sent over. They also sent like the thermos. I love that. Some t-shirts. And right now they're not only can you get a discount on your coffee and whatnot, but they are running a giveaway where you can win a MacBook, you can win Barstool Sports merch, and you can win Death Wish Coffee for a year. So if you go to deathwishcoffee.com/KFC, you enter the sweepstakes where you can get a MacBook, Death Wish Cold Brew, and the Barstool Indoors line. And then when you're done with the sweepstakes, you can just shop normally and you get 15% off. So deathwish.com/KFC for the sweepstakes, and then use the promo code KFC at checkout for 15% off. Check it out now. deathwishcoffee.com/KFC. So last week we were doing our KFC Radio top fives with fictional bars. And along the way, we mentioned how it's such a mind fuck when you find out that an American actor when you find out an actor who you thought was American is British, when you hear that accent for the first time. And then you start to learn about a lot more of them. You realize there's a whole bunch. And so today's top 5 are British actors you thought were American. You drafted first last time. I'm drafting first today.
Son of a bitch. You better not take mine.
Well, I think there are 2 really good ones off the top.
Okay, I think so too. Well, one of them I'm not going to choose. Well, you go, and then we'll just go.
Okay. I'm very torn. I'm torn between the one that personally blew my mind, and I'm also torn between a different actor who not only has the British reveal, but another reveal in him as well. And I'm debating whether I think that my number 2 pick could slip back to me or if you're going to scoop him up. Because I think the other guy you're going to draft right away. This is such a big decision, and I'm really going to hate if I don't have both these guys on my squad. I'm going to go with the one that I'm being true to myself here. This is the one that blew my mind the most and continues to do so. But now you got me in my head. I'm going to go with the one that really fucked me up. Damian Lewis.
Okay. I had him, but that's not my big. That wasn't my one.
See, now that makes me fucking afraid that your one was my other one. But Damian Lewis, he's Bobby Axelrod, and he's what's his name in Homeland?
Fuck.
It's something stupid. Brody.
Yeah, his wife calls him his last name.
Brody in Homeland, and now Bobby Axelrod. I mean, in Homeland, he was, he's the American, he's the soldier, he's the ginger, and then Bobby Axelrod. Now I already knew watching Billions that he was, but if I didn't know that and I just saw Axe and he's like this New York hedge fund guy, I mean, the guy is. I'm starting to think he's faking it. I don't think he actually is from fucking London. I don't think he's got an accent. But when I heard him for the first time, and I think that's the other thing, almost all the other guys on my list, I eventually was told, but I heard Damian Lewis. That's how I found out, and I was like, what? Like, is he doing an accent now? Is this a bit? And then I realized the whole time I thought he was this American guy. So that's my first overall pick. And this is tough too, because if you know it, you're not surprised. But you got to remember the first time you found these things out, and the Damian Lewis reveal was a monster one.
And you can't ever talk about Damian Lewis being a foreigner without mentioning that he gave Obama the greatest letter ever, which was when he gave Obama the Homeland box set, or maybe it was like a season of Homeland that wasn't out yet, whatever it was, and he signed it. I believe it was to Obama from one foreign Muslim to another.
So good. So awesome.
My number 1, quick and easy, Hugh Lowry. Hugh Lowry, when I was Dr. House, I was a big House fan my freshman year at college. All I did was sit in bed, watch House and Scrubs. And I loved Hugh Lowry. And it was the same thing like you just explained. It was like, it wasn't told to me. It was, I saw him speaking. It was like, what the fuck is that?
Very good one. Also was very high on my list. The only reason I didn't go with him is because I wasn't that big of a House guy. I've seen episodes. I love 13.
Dude,
but if I watched it, that would have been the one, because I had no idea about that one either.
My personality, my freshman year of college, was 97% based on a mix of Dr. House and Dr. Perry Cox. That was who I was.
Who's that one? The other guy on House?
He's from Scrubs. No, he's from Scrubs.
Scrubs.
They're both asshole doctors. And
House is such a cocksucker.
Yeah.
Just like not necessary to be that rude all the time. It's like you would probably run a better practice if you were just a little more fucking polite, dude. Jesus Christ. Okay, so this actually means I do get my top 2 picks, though, because this is a double whammy, because not only is he British, but apparently he's gay. Wentworth Miller from Prison Break.
Son of a bitch! I was on that
one. So I'm so happy he slipped to me, because that one, I don't know which one I found out first, but I was like, this guy has an accent, and he fucks dudes, which was almost good news to hear, because he is unbelievably attractive. To know that was just, hey, I don't ever got to compete with that. Like, as if I ever really would have to anyway. But, hey, if me and Wentworth Miller ever walk in a room together, I know that we're good. And I don't have to go toe-to-toe with those baby blue eyes and that shaved head and that fucking jacked body.
But you know what the difference here is, too, though?
What's that?
I was surprised to find out the guy from Prison Break is British. I was not surprised to find out that Wentworth Miller is British. I luckily didn't know his name.
Yeah, Wentworth Miller is about as fucking limey as it gets. You're right. So yeah, that was part of it too. He's playing this like rough and tough dude. You don't think of his like tea time with his pinky up, but Wentworth Miller is for sure British. So all right, your second pick.
Second pick. See, the issue here is like I just knew Christian Bale so long ago.
Yeah, but that was.
I don't even think I have him in my top 5 unless I have to have him in my top 5. Like I knew Christian Bale was British. I don't even know when I learned because it was.
I think I learned during his "You and I Are Done" professionally rant.
Maybe that was it. That was by what 10 years ago now.
Yeah, it's definitely a long time, but I struggled with that as well because if we did this when I discovered it, it was number 1 because I remember being like, wait, Batman's British, but it's been so long ago. And I think it's common knowledge now, but
I mean, it was last year. It was a stunning reveal. Remember last year, Twitter went crazy when he was getting accepted. What was his movie?
Yeah, Ford versus Ferrari.
No. It was
that.
Yeah, I forget what it was. I forget what
you can't. Honestly, Twitter you can't trust anymore. There used to be a time where everyone on Twitter, we all joined at relatively the same time, and so we all were coming up together. I mean, there are just kids on Twitter now who don't know fucking dick about the world.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So is that your pick though?
One of us have to pick him. I'll take him. Fuck it.
All right. I mean, that is like that's probably an OG. Like, that's probably one of the first. I can't believe he's British. I think it's just so common to us. But there's probably someone watching right now, listening right now, who just learned that, who are like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I also think he's done enough. He's done some roles now where he has used his regular voice. But I think there was a time where it was like just, Batman and a couple and American Psycho and shit where you just had no idea. So at the time, though, monster one. Let me go my third overall pick here. This is where we kind of get into it. And this is a new one. And I just learned this. Tom Holland.
Tom Holland? You didn't know that one?
Didn't know that one.
That's another one where it's like, they're so good at it. It's fucking infuriating.
I just never seen him in any other movies. I know him as Spider-Man, and he does that so well as like the American kid. I think the problem is that, like, when you do a Marvel movie now, you also do like an insane amount of press, so you're going to see the interviews. Right. But I didn't see that for a little while, and so like when I like close my eyes and think of him, I think of him doing like the Peter Parker voice. I don't want to steal a potential other pick of yours, but Spider-Man has Andrew Garfield as well. I didn't know Andrew Garfield.
I did not know Andrew Garfield, but he's like cheating British. He's not really British.
Is he not? Yeah, I just saw him on the list, and I was like, does he have an accent? Does he talk like that?
No, I don't think he has an accent.
Okay, so all right. So this is more like, do you have an accent, really, to be honest?
Yeah, I think he was born in America, but then I think he grew up in Britain and moved back here at a young age. I think I do not believe Andrew Garfield has an accent. I'm like 99% sure. I'll be stunned if Andrew Garfield has an accent.
Your third pick.
I'm gonna go Dominic West.
Who's that?
Because I think
what's his face from
The Wire and
right.
What's the other one?
The Affair. Yeah.
Because I honestly don't think it was. That was like a very recent reveal for me. That was.
You know what I think's funny about him? Once I think he does a bad American accent.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like when I was watching The Affair, I was like, I could tell that he was like trying to speak American.
See, I think it's impossible to do a bad American accent because there isn't an American accent. There's so many. Like you could just be like, oh no, he's from Delaware. Like, oh, I didn't know people from Delaware talked like that.
Right, that's true. That is true. I just feel like you could see that he was like trying to do something with his voice. Like it was like you're not like talking naturally. But that also might be like me, like chicken or the egg sort of thing.
Hugh Laurie, I hear, does a bad one too. I heard he does I heard his accent in House is not good, which stuns me as well. I'm like, I didn't know that.
Weird.
It never for a second questioned me. And I've gone back and watched it, or at least some episodes, and never am I like, ooh, wow, I can't believe I thought this guy was actually from New Jersey. You seem like he's from New Jersey.
My fourth pick. This is one that I think I just learned like today, right now. It's a guy I've been watching forever because he's in every movie ever. Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman
You know he was. How did you know he was British? Because he's also not. He's a like a megastar in terms of like he's one of the most prolific actors ever. He's been in so many awesome movies, but he's never like the front man where you're gonna see him like on the red carpet and he's gonna be doing the press conferences and shit. I had no clue.
I think I had an idea. He definitely gave a speech very recently that was weird. I think he won an Oscar last year, and it was strange. And it was political, but like not clear what its meaning was. I don't think there was something about it that was odd. He's also kind of problematic. I think he's like he's had a few problematic issues.
Really? What did he do?
Yeah. It was that was more surprising.
Wait a minute, Gary Oldman won best actor. Holy shit!
Was it last year?
I mean, no, that was 2018. But that totally negates everything I just said because I thought he had always been in like awesome movies, but I never knew he was like the lead dude. But I never saw Darkest Hour. I don't know.
Yeah, I knew he was in a weird movie like that. Yeah, I think he's Churchill in that, I believe.
Oh yeah, I definitely don't know that one.
So yeah, it was the speech for that. He gave a weird speech. I honestly forget even if it was left or right politically, but it was like a weird one.
I would have to imagine it was left, but
I would think so. But I think this is what I mean. Where I think his meaning
something was wacky about him. Yeah.
Yeah. My number 4. I mean, easy home run. Idris Elba.
I saw that. I think the problem for me is I didn't watch him as Stringer Bell, so like I only know him as a British guy.
See, with Charles Minor.
What's that?
Charles Minor, The Office.
Right. See, I also fell off on late Office. I knew he was in it, but I never watched it hardcore. But
that's fairly early. I think that's maybe season 4.
Is it? Is that? Oh yeah, because he's not like replacing. He wasn't one of those Robert California guys. He was just
but he's technically replacing Michael. If it's
right.
Michael quits and start the Michael Scott Piper Foundation.
Right. Yeah. I know that Stringer Bell having an accent was like a fucking like a existential crisis moment for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to have that on the list. Idris he's always been that's another guy too. Idris Elba. I don't know what kind of name that is, but it ain't just like you're an American boy. You know, you're not like a dude from Baltimore. All right, so this is my 5th and final pick.
Yes.
I'm not picking this, but I do want to just throw this out there. As I learned about Gary Oldman, it was because I was watching a clip where he was doing an Australian accent, sitting next to Toni Collette. Did you know she was Australian?
No.
She's got a full blown like, "Good day, mate."
See, Charlie Hunnam would probably be on this list of people. But the first thing I saw was Green Street, so it didn't surprise me.
Yeah,
if my first thing was Sons of Anarchy,
that's a guy. You go back and listen to him talking Sons. I mean, he's all over the map with his voice.
Really?
It's all over the fucking place. It doesn't make any sense. He's doing an absolutely terrible job. Once you know it, you're like, oh yeah, this is absolutely terrible. I think I'm gonna go here. This is not a big time name. I can only think of him in one thing. But it's pretty stunning for me. I don't know if it's a big enough pick to round out my top 5.
Oh no, are you gonna take my pick here?
This is a niche thing. It almost, I don't know if I can make it my top. It doesn't even matter. I think people will be like, so fucking what? Who cares, dude?
I think you might have my pick. This one's big for me. Can you say it?
Is it a kid? Is it a young person?
A young guy.
Is it the kid from We're the Millers?
Yes.
Yeah. We are so on the same page. We need to get on one of these shows where we somehow can win money for fucking knowing each other's brain. I couldn't believe that. I mean, that's the only thing I've seen him in, and he just plays such a hokey, like American boy next door.
Will Poulter was definitely on my list.
Yeah. 100%. That's fucking funny. that was like my sleeper pick. I just didn't know if he had enough of a career to even like really worry about or like make a difference. But I would have, gun to my head, I would have been like, yeah, that's just like the goofy white American kid.
Yeah, that kid is from Who Gives a Fuck, Kansas. There's no doubt about it.
1,000%. That's fucking funny that we both picked the most irrelevant thing in the goddamn world.
I was so surprised by that he was like, I almost put it number 1.
I know. That was like the all of these things. I'm like, did I know that? I feel like I kind of knew that. I had no idea with that kid, so that's why he was like high on my list.
All right, I mean, if you took that, then I'm gonna do Hunnam, but
yeah.
I can't in good spirits, good faith do hunt him. Oh, you know who I'm doing? The dude from Star Wars. That was a surprise when I saw him speak in an English accent. The black guy. I don't know. Fuck it. Actually, it could be either one of them.
The new black guy is British?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, that's a good one.
It could be him, or you could put him, or you could put the guy from Get Out. Also a stunner for me.
Oh, wait a second. I got a new one. Al Swearingen is British.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
What's his name? Ian
McShane.
That's
a good one because it's so American, you cocksucker hoople heads. And he's like this fancy British boy. So that would be my like sixth pick. I'm gonna go with the We're the Miller Kids, but it's such a, I don't know if it's like an American cocky arrogance thing to be like stunned that someone's from a different country, but it really is like a revelation for us over here. I'm sure it's not that way. It can't be the other way around, right? There's just not enough examples of people doing,
No, I mean, I've talked about this before because I actually looked it up one time, wondering why it is such a surprise for us, and why they're so good at doing our accents and we are so bad at doing this. You've never seen American crossover and do a British accent, and
when they do it, it's usually pretty bad.
It's because John Boyega is the name I'm looking for. He's the guy from Star Wars. But it's British actors. British actors are taught at a young age that in order to become a real movie star, you have to be able to do American accents.
Well, I mean, it makes sense though too. It's like when Hollywood's in America, bro. I mean, I know there are like movie studios everywhere, but I feel like if you're doing American blockbusters and shit like that, yeah, you better be able to talk you better talk American if you want to make it big. But yeah, that's for sure like a stunning moment for all of us here. So another top 5. We're gonna do this every Tuesday. If you have an idea for us to do KFC Radio top 5s, let us know which ones you want to do, and we'll bang them out each and every Tuesday for you. Time to get into our voicemails. They are brought to you by Simply Safe. I mean, right now is not the time to mess around when it comes to safety. You're going to be, you and your loved ones are in your house all the time. You cannot risk it. More so now than ever. Your little ones are home. All your belongings are at home. And
you're at home.
The most important thing of all. So make sure you keep it as safe as possible with Simply Safe. It is the easiest to install, the most affordable, and the least long-term commitment, hoops and hassle type of system on the market right now. You don't have to sign up for like 2-year contracts. It's just 50 cents a day when you break it all down. You can set it up in under an hour, and you get 24/7 emergency dispatch for break-ins, for fire, for a flood, for any type of danger. Simply Safe is there to give you comprehensive protection for your home. It was voted the best overall home security in 2020 by the U.S. News and World Report. And right now, when you go to simplysafe.com/KFC Radio, it's SIMPLI safe.com/KFC Radio, you'll get free shipping and a 60-day risk-free trial. Make sure you go to simplysafe.com/KFC Radio to make sure that they know that we're the reason you went there. Make sure we get the credit for it. Make sure that we keep them up as sponsors and keep everybody happy while you're keeping your loved ones and all your belongings safe. From Simply Safe and all of us here at KFC Radio, we're wishing you safety and good health in the quarantine. Go to simplysafe.com/KFC Radio.
Hey, KFC, by Super Producer BC. Curious what you guys think about when things you can't control interrupts sex. For example, the other night, my husband and I were in quarantine, start to do it on the living room floor, and he couldn't stop coughing. Probably because he has coronavirus, who knows. Every couple minutes, we'd be making out, stop, he'd have to cough. Get back at it, a couple minutes later, cough, whatever. It was kind of funny, but fight through it. Keep going. A couple minutes later, the oven goes on because I forgot I had brownies baking in the oven. So stop, get up, go take the brownies out of the oven, get them cooled down, get back at it on the living room floor. Just curious what your thoughts are when, if it's something uncontrollable like a cough, what do you do? Do you power through? Do you make them stop? And what things are just totally a deal breaker, and you can't continue on getting at it.
So this is a perfect example of what you always say, John, where like it's supposed to be funnier than anything. Like I think that's probably the best session that especially a married couple. Like if you go on a hot date, you bring a girl home for like the second time or something, and like your first time sleeping with her, you want it to be like some sexy shit. You're married, like that's gonna be more memorable. Like remember the time we were trying to fuck and you were like coughing down my throat because you have the virus that's killing the world, and like remember that time I was trying to be fucking barefoot Contessa and burnt the brownies because we were fucking, and like I think that I'd get a kick out of that more than anything if it's something where you don't have to like seize the opportunity.
I would find it personally funny. I would probably not be able to fuck through it because
so my thing is I think I get one interruption.
And even one's borderline because like right when I'm like having sex, I'm like Shia LaBeouf in The Greatest Game Ever Played. Like I just don't see anything but the hole, right? I'm just
literally.
And then the moment something else comes in, I'm off.
Right.
Like if I got a text message, like sometimes you ever pull this move? Sometimes you happen to get up early for God knows what reason, and then you have some morning sex, and then your alarm goes off. Done. That's it. I go flaccid so fast.
Well, so that's the problem. Is it's really not up to you or her. It's up to your dick.
Right.
So if your dick can withstand the coughing, fine. If your dick draws the line at brownies in the oven, then guess what? The sex is going to be over.
Can I tell you something? I just gave a test cough. I might start coughing during sex. Right? Do it right now. Right? Hang on. Do it.
Hold your cough?
Hold your dick and cough.
Oh yeah. It's definitely like a. Well, I don't.
Oh, you feel a blood rush, right?
Well, that's why they always tell you in prison to bend over and cough because it'll,
But you can feel it, and you can feel blood rushing to your penis.
Yeah, you get that that bump.
I'm just gonna start having coughing fits all during sex. It'll be a little bigger.
Oh, that'll really turn her on. Yeah,
right? It'll be like. I mean, I imagine I imagine my dick does that little flex right before a climax as well. So like, oh, you gave me multiples.
I'll tell you what the craziest part of this whole voicemail is to me. Having sex on the floor. Heavens to Betsy. I had sex on the floor like 6 months ago. Can't do that anymore. That's off the list. I need a fucking bed or a piece of furniture. It wasn't even on like hardwood. There was a rug. Can't do that. John, I'm too old for it. I'm too old for floor sex.
I could be on my back for it.
Yeah. I mean, I could be on my back for anything. If I was on my knees, holding myself up, my knees were on the fucking ground. And I mean, I had bruises and I had raspberries and like, I couldn't get any like, rhythm because it was just rubbing too hard. Anytime I tried to get some torque in there, it was hurting my fucking.
You need guys like having a bed is like having a steroid. Where like especially you get an old bed like springs, dude. If I'm on an old bed with springs, I don't even fucking move my hips because my core will get too tight. I just push down my arms.
Yes, really what you're doing is bouncing her into your dick.
Yeah, I'm just like I don't know. I could picture like a superhero in my head. It's just like rapid arm punches, and he just like takes the wall down. That's me, just in a bed.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll get it going so bad, we're like on a trampoline where there's like you two perfectly hit it, and it's like dangerous. Sometimes we'll like merge into one person real quick, and then like suck back out. It's just like sometimes you're coming to me with such force, our bodies are straight up combined.
That was a tough one for me to realize though. Like you get old and you realize you can't drink as much as you used to, and then you get old and you realize the heartburn. It's like, oh, I can't even eat these foods anymore. I tried to have like spontaneous floor sex, and I was like, can we just pause? And that was my interruption. I was like, can we go to the bed, please? Because this is not feeling good for any of us. I don't think so.
I did recently. Standing up in my bathroom.
Like in the shower or in the bathroom?
No, in the bathroom.
Okay.
And like had her like holding her up kind of deal.
Oh, what are you, fucking Hercules, dude?
But I did it for so long where like I ended up getting tired and I went to sit like an idiot on my radiator. It wasn't like cooking, but it was like it made me pop like, oh! It did like sear my skin kind of deal, but it wasn't a fucking pan.
Right,
but right. Like, that's too hot. What the fuck is that?
Yo, you're
What happened after that? Stopped having sex.
I was gonna say, and then all the blood is rushing to your injured ass cheeks, and the sex is over. I hope you enjoyed the fucking the Arnold Schwarzenegger hold you up sex for the first 5 minutes, because it is over. Let's do another voicemail. We got a big jam-packed episode. We got Rhett and Link to wrap things up, an interview with those two guys from YouTube. So we'll do another voicemail and jump into it with them. What do we got?
Hey, what's up, guys? I have a question for you. Need some advice. So I went on a date with this girl literally right before quarantine all happened. Everything went great. Everything was awesome. Except now I'm like, I don't know how to follow up. So we've been texting a little bit, but like without being able to see each other, it's not a real thing. And like going over and hanging out at each other's houses, like we just like, she's not really that type of person, and right off the bat kind of thing. And like we didn't really know each other off the start. So I just don't know how to kind of follow up with, from the date, from whatever. It's been a couple weeks at this point. We've kind of been talking back and forth here or there, but quarantine's kind of putting a damper on everything I'm trying to do here. So just looking to see if you guys have any advice for me. So thanks, Viva.
There's a lot of these questions floating around in different variations. People who either started to talk or had a date prior to everything, and now they feel like, what do you do? But my answer to all of them, no matter what your different circumstances are, it's kind of like, what else are you going to do? You can't go back out. You're not going to be like, I'm going to go back out to the bar and meet someone else. Like, you're going to basically be either in quarantine where you continue to talk to this person and text them, maybe fucking fool around on FaceTime or whatever.
Oh, people
or
do
nothing.
that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. No.
You're so lame, John.
Kevin, you FaceTime fucked?
Yeah, I mean,
no!
Pre-quarantine, bro.
No.
What's wrong with you?
No, I don't, dude. I don't like talking on FaceTime. I'm so ugly. It's like, what you were fucking playing with yourself while a girl was playing with herself while you fucking looked at her?
Yeah, you don't even have to put it on your ugly face. Just put it on your ugly dick.
So you just had your fucking your peep out?
Just turn the fucking phone around. Just put it down on your dick.
And you just tugging on her?
And I'm what?
And you were just tugging on her?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what?
That is funny. That's funny.
Why are you not, John?
I don't FaceTime sex, man. That's not me. That's not my game. You gotta be, look, nothing. I'll tell you what. We'll be dead honest with you right here. You have sex with me, you're gonna enjoy it. You look at my naked body, you're not gonna think you could enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, it is tough. You gotta work with the lighting and shit. But you also control. See, I almost like it because you're almost in control. If you just look at me naked, you could look at any part of me. You're only going to look at what I fucking show you. You know what I mean? I'm not putting it so you can like see my fucking muffin top, bro. So, it's actually controlling their eyeballs, basically.
I mean, I get it. I just like it, and also it's just
you're just so bad at talking too. I can't even imagine how awkward you'd be.
It would be. Here's what you'd hear. See, like you'd hear my fucking pinky hitting my fucking like kind of my nuts.
It is the pinky that just hits.
It's just catch it a little bit, and then I don't moan, I don't do nothing. It would just be like you'd be like what small insect is doing construction right now? That's what you Who's building?
What small insect is doing construction? That's like one of those newlywed questions. Like, describe what it sounds like when your mate has sex. An insect doing construction.
It's just I don't know. I don't know. It's just it's not something I wasn't like I'm not shocked to hear people are doing it, but it's just like I when someone FaceTimes me. I just put my phone down and it looks at the ceiling. That's what you get to see. You don't get to see me. You want to talk? Call me on the phone. Fine. You want to fuck? don't know. See me in 3 months.
Well, so like this, let me just, I'll rope this in. I was going to save it for Am I the Asshole? Because that's what the kid asked me the question over DM. But I mean, it does play into this like too well. So basically, am I the asshole for wanting to break up with a girl that now lives across the country right now? We started talking in October. We've been hanging out on long weekends every 6 weeks or so since December. She lives in Tennessee. I live in Arizona, so it's not driving distance. She's cool and all, but it feels like I'm wasting my time. Like, if you're in a long-distance relationship already, so far in quarantine, you've probably only missed, like, one time together, right?
Yeah.
So if you're already like, it's a waste of time, I don't think you really like this girl to begin with.
Yeah,
so I think that, and then the other thing is like, okay, so you break up with her. That means you just stop talking to her. And then again, you can't go out and find somebody who lives nearby. So you're basically just choosing, I don't want to even have to text this person anymore. You might just not like this girl. That's fine. You're allowed to break up with her. But I don't think you can be like, I loved you. You were the one, but the quarantine fucked us.
Yeah.
You were already in a long distance relationship. You know, you missed one time together. You know, I think if you wanted to blame the quarantine on your long distance relationship, I think it would have to be like, you'd have to miss like 5 times together, 4 times.
Yeah, no, I think 5 is the number.
Yeah.
5. You like a year.
Right.
We quarantine for a year. We quarantine for a year. Breakup shouldn't even have to happen. It's just we're done.
It's just over.
Understands when we come out, we're
all single. Yeah.
Everyone's single.
Yeah, I mean, if you're dating someone and you see them every 6 weeks, so that's what let's call it. You see them eight times a year. So now if you only see them like 6 times, you're like, fuck it, I'm out. Nah, that's got to be down around 3 or 4 before you could say, hey, babe, this is just silly, right? Until then, you're allowed to break up with her. Just don't expect that people are going to let you off the hook. Her and her friends are all going to be like, you're an asshole.
Did you just hear me fart?
I heard something. I didn't know what it was. You could have got away with it.
I've been farting on live streams and stuff a lot, and there have been plenty of times where I'm like, oof, they might have heard that one.
Is that like your kink? Like you're running around like, did I get away with that one? Did I get away with
No,
that?
it's just like I don't hold it. Like there's no one in this room, so I don't fucking care. Like I'm not like.
I'm also looking. You're sitting on what appears to be the most leather couch of all time. It just looks shiny. It looks like it was designed to amplify farts.
This was honestly my grandfather's like cigar room couch.
Yeah. He's been farting in that thing since like 1910. That thing has 100 years of farts in it. Even if we can't hear it, I'm gonna have Nick drop like a noise in post. So don't worry. All right, let's talk to our boys Rhett and Link. You know them from YouTube. We talked to them a couple times before. They are back, and we're talking about why the fuck are people doing puzzles in quarantine? Why? Since when do people? 2 things: puzzles, and now everyone feels the need to FaceTime and Zoom with their family. I don't talk to my family as is. Now all of a sudden I gotta like just FaceTime with my aunts and like make sure I catch up. Like what? I see you 2 times a year normally. Now all of a sudden we gotta do Skype fucking talks and shit. Get out of here.
Connor's been staying up until 2 a.m. doing puzzles. It's crazy. She doesn't stay up till 2 a.m. ever.
And you've also got to talk to her. You got to FaceTime and Zoom with people you don't talk to anyway and do puzzles with them. Those are 2 things you never did all year long, and now that we're trapped inside, you're expected to do puzzles with Aunt Edna over the fucking phone. Get out of here. So let's talk to Rhett and Link about it. They're brought to you by Seamless. Order right now with your local favorites or earn exclusive rewards from Seamless so you can help your local community. Seamless is running the Supper for Support plan where every evening you can get $10 off your order of $30 or more to support the restaurants you love. Honestly, this is like a win-win. Like you're still, like I said, you're doing the things you normally do. You would ordinarily order out and get dinner anyway. You might as well save $10. And of course, you know your order is going to be over $30. You know why? Because I'm getting an appetizer and a couple desserts, and everything is going to cost at least $50, even though I'm a 1 fucking person household. So you might as well save $10. You might as well save the local community and keep your favorite bars and restaurants open. And you can select contact-free delivery at checkout, so you don't have to worry about any transferring of germs or seeing anybody. And so basically, you're donating funds to help every time you order. You can go to the donate donate the change, contribution, support, and the Seamless Community Relief Fund. All of it is keeping everybody open and everything afloat. So for new users, use the promo code KFC Radio to get $7 off your first order of $10 or more, on top of the Supper for Support deal you're getting for the $30 or more. That's new users, promo code KFC Radio on the Seamless app. Rhett and Link, let's talk to him. What's cooking? We got Rhett and Link back, not back in the building, but back on the podcast. Everybody in their homes. You guys staying safe? How you feeling?
Yeah, staying. I'm in bed currently, so I can't complain that much.
I just got out of bed to interview Larry the Cable Guy and I was going to do it from bed, and I was like, I feel weird doing an interview. Like I was like, I was in bed. So we almost had a little bedtime together there.
I mean, I am dressed, and the bed is kind of made just because I think so highly of you guys.
In bed in quarantine?
I'm a weird guy, yeah. I'm doing lots of weird things in quarantine that that's going to be the least of your issues if I told you everything.
Well, this frame right here, which I've never seen, is very YouTube vlogger 2009.
Hey guys, just coming up
sitting
another
on the edge of the
vlog from bedroom.
Well, what other kind of weird shit are you getting into?
Well, as you can see, I'm kind of embracing. I've been embracing this whole quarantine thing. I was doing that before it started, and then I realized my lack of cutting my hair for 8 months was the perfect way to slide right into this lockdown.
You've been living this on purpose. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think people like people who kind of were internet personalities per se have a pretty big one up here? We're like we've been doing this shit. Like,
well, yeah, you think about like the late night guys who are all of a sudden like, hey, we're doing our show from our house. Isn't that cool? And everybody's like, yeah, we've all been doing that for like a decade. You know?
Yeah, I mean, we woke up when it first started, and I was like, all right, this is just back to the old days. Like, grab the laptop, press record on the camera, and just start fucking around.
Yeah, I gotta say, well, I mean, we were a little bit rusty because we got a good team and they make things easy for us so that we don't lash out at them. And now the only people I have to lash out at is me and my kids if they happen to be in the room. Like I got my 10-year-old like rolling the camera and stopping it, and it's risky business, man. But yeah, it's kind of like going back to basics, and it's
listen, it's time for them to start pulling their weight. You know, they've been catching these checks. Start doing some work, kids.
That's right.
Child labor. I've been pushing for that for years.
Yeah. Why would you not take the free labor? Now, when you did Mythical Morning, you were in the same place, so it's a little different now.
Well, no. So when we started GMM, we were like in my converted garage, which was our office, which was like a 12 by 15 space where the two of us and one other employee worked. And so we would literally just turn the camera, put a card table in the middle of the room. We cut a hole in it and put a microphone through it. And then just the three of us did everything. So we are kind of returning to that. The thing that's been complicated is we're not in the same spot.
Right.
So we've got to do this split screen thing where we've got each other on a chat, a video chat. So we can, when Link looks to his right and I look to my left, we're kind of looking at each other. So it kind of feels like the show. So we got to have that set up, and then we're recording our audio and then recording the video separately. And there's not been one episode where something didn't get pretty much screwed up by us, but
that's the fun of it though, isn't it? Like,
I
like our episodes better when they're kind of chaotic, where it's like, I don't know. That's just,
right.
I mean, we kind of just say it's the Barstool difference because we're always going to fuck stuff. Even when we're in the same room, we're going to fuck stuff up. But there's a little bit more opportunity for that now.
Well, one of the things is, I mean, Rhett and I are used to talking over top of each other and interrupting each other, but now you got that little bit of delay.
Yeah.
So you've learned to not put any pauses in any thoughts you're having, because after a delay, Rhett will try to interrupt me or vice versa. And I'm already talking about the next thing. So there's this new skill of, I hear him talking, but I'm just going to barrel through. I mean, you guys dealing with that?
Oh, yeah. Volleyball. Big time.
Yeah, we're doing it right now. Fuck off. Stop talking.
Right.
No, but I think it is. I think guys like us and your duo have an even bigger leg up because I do still think having chemistry, even with the delay, it's like I know his tendencies, I know what he's how long he's going to talk for. The people who are coming in fresh to this, I feel like are no. Oh, you go. Okay, it's like you know what it is. It's conference calls in the corporate world. Everyone on conference calls is always what. Let me. Oh, no, you go. No, and it's just like So I feel like chemistry, you can still get through the whole via Skype shit or whatever.
Yeah. And as a culture, we're getting better at conference calls. That's one of the benefits of all this. Is there's going to be a lot less awkwardness. I mean, I don't know if you guys have done this, but we've been doing this.
Perfect. We lost him.
We've
been doing this thing where we reconnect with our friends over video chat. I don't know what he was saying.
In years.
That was it. Okay, we lost you. We lost you for a second.
Yeah.
I think I took the thread and I continued it. So you can just keep going
that
as
was
if we never lost you.
Yeah, well, that was intentional. I was just trying to demonstrate the way the video chats can fall apart.
I think what you were saying was we've reconnected with like friends of ours from college, and we're doing video chats with them. And I'm starting to realize it can almost work. And now you can choose who you. I mean, you don't have to be limited to the friends that you can have right in front of your face. Like, you know what? I think I'm going to start opting for video chats over interacting with some of the people that I used to consider like my best chance of a friend here in person.
We were saying that with the interesting thing. First of all, how quickly like let's do a video chat has become let's grab a drink together. Like that's just immediately like, hey, you want a drink? Let's have a Zoom. But the interesting thing I found, me and my friends video chatted the other night for, I swear to God, 6 hours. Yeah. But when I video chat, it's like, when I video chat, when I do something like this, it's an interview or a show. So I'm always trying to like go, not have lulls. And they were like, dude, we can just hang out. Like we're in the room. Like
right.
You can just shut the hell up for a bit and then talk when something comes up.
Oh, so you guys just hanging out, like you're just drinking in quiet, and then when something comes up, you start talking?
There won't be extended lulls, but it's not like, okay, on to the next topic,
Do you set the camera up like it's just put it in a top corner of your room like surveillance?
I kind of have it on this table, and I'm just kind of chilling on the couch watching TV.
Yeah, you just put it back.
Yeah,
so they got a wide shot. There's some crotch in the shots, what you're telling me.
I get that because we're doing like we've had a couple of meals with other families, and well, Link, your family has been one of those families.
Yep.
And they're hanging out talking, and then there's the
we're hanging out talking.
But you got to just
I don't know what he was going to say. We lost you again, but
every time I start talking, you're losing me.
You know what I think? I think we're discovering a new game here. You gotta finish your partner's sentence when he freezes. You guys, just pick it up and run with it.
Yeah, we had all of our families eating, and then we started to bit.
You're too shaky, man. It's not working. You're too shaky.
Can you tell?
I can see that one hand shaking
over. You got to take the ball and run with it, man. That's the game.
How is Good Mythical Morning going? How is like your industry in general? We felt in the very beginning there was like a dip in podcasts, and I'm hoping it's kind of back. But I think as people found their routines, they, for us, like commutes and going to the gym were a huge part of when people listen to those things. Now that's obviously out, so they have to find new times. Is something like Good Mythical Morning even affected by this, or are more people watching? How's that working out?
I'm going to try to speak without stopping. You just let me know if I stop, and if I do, I'm going to have to go take one of my kids off of the internet. That's probably what's happening. We've seen it be pretty steady for GMM for our podcast Ear Biscuits. We saw the same dip that everybody's seeing.
Mm-hmm.
For GMM, we've heard that a lot of people on YouTube are seeing more traffic, but we're seeing about the same. And I think it's because our show is such a routine for people.
Right.
So I think that if everyone's kind of thrown off their game, it's like people are going to sleep at different times, waking up at different times. So I think that the whole idea of getting up and like, I have my GMM that I watch for 15 minutes every morning before I go to work or before I work out or whatever. So I think that those people are not watching as much, or they're watching at different times. And then there's just more people on the internet in general. So it's kind of leveled itself out. That's my best guess.
I feel like staying steady throughout this is maybe like the biggest sign of success, or the biggest compliment you can see, because when everyone's entire routine is thrown off and you stay completely normal, I mean, that's when you know you got like a staple of a product for people.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, at first there was a lot of scrambling trying to figure out, I mean, what we were going to do with our team. You know, we sent them all home in anticipation of that happening. Then a few days later, it was official, and then we knew we were just going to have to start making stuff. We didn't, you know, at first it was, you just didn't know what was going on. And are we planning for weeks? Are we planning for months? Are we planning? And, you know, so it took some time to settle into it, but yeah, I agree. It's like, if we can just find a way to keep getting a version of our shows out there. And, you know, we reduced our release schedule to just Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Good Mythical Morning, just because it's taking that much longer for us to make the show. And
Turn around.
I mean, we're still uploading it to be edited and utilizing team members and things like that. So but yeah, it's, you just find a way to keep going, and then just to get to the other side. And I feel for all the people who, you know, they've got more important jobs than we do, and they're trying to figure out how to do it, or they're not allowed to do it, or they have to do it because it's essential. And now all of a sudden they're putting their lives at risk and to stock the shelves at Walmart.
Yeah. Essential. The word essential is puzzling. I mean, a lot of them make sense, and a lot of them I'm like, that is not essential. It's most definitely not that.
The essential people do make sense to me. It's just not the people you've been trained to think are essential.
Yeah.
Where it's like, because their pay doesn't reflect it. But like, someone's got to fucking put the food on the shelf. That has to happen.
Yeah.
Are you guys cooking up anything new in quarantine? Any type of quarantine ideas bouncing around from you guys?
Well, the one thing that we have reluctantly but now enthusiastically embraced is TikTok.
I knew where you were going.
You knew he was going to say that?
As soon as you reluctant, I was going to say.
Yeah. I feel like you guys would be good at it.
Yeah, well, we haven't really done any. So it's one of those things that, you know, when you do what we do, you see this platform that everybody's talking about, and you're like, yeah, we got to get on there, don't we? And luckily, we have the ability with all the stuff that we've created in the past. You could just take old stuff and sort of recycle it, and that's how we kind of started it. But now we're starting to think like, okay, we're here at home. I mean, I can film something, you can film something, we can edit it together. It's the whole idea is this lo-fi stuff. So we've got some ideas that we'll be rolling out.
Are you staying away? Or are you guys hopping on it?
I had it. I had 2 videos fall dead flat. And I think Bert Kreischer yesterday retweeted something. And it was basically like I'd had 2 glasses of whiskey, and I saw someone retweet something that said like, delete TikTok because China's going to steal your data. And I was like, you know what? My 2 videos stunk. I'm a little buzzed. I'm done with TikTok.
You deleted it?
I deleted the whole thing, yeah.
I'm watching.
I heard the whispers.
I'm watching now. You're born for this shit. This is right.
I don't know how to feel about that.
Well, you know what? I can't decide about TikTok. I was just talking about it last night with the comedian Josh Wolf, and like, there's a lot of reasons to make fun of it or to hate it. I think it's weird when the parents are on it and like in their teenage kids' videos. I think it's weird if you're just like old and single and on it and all that shit. But the real 2 reasons I don't like it. One, I'm not like a good dancer, and I'm jealous that I can't be good at TikTok. And if I was, I would just be like, fuck it, I'm awesome at TikTok. And 2, there's someone who's going to come along who's just going to like dance in front of a camera for 15 seconds, and they're going to have a better career than I have. And so the main reason I don't like TikTok is just pure jealousy. If I was
a hater, that's it.
Yeah. If I could do it and I fit, I would be like, you're just jealous.
Like,
so,
I didn't even delete TikTok. TikTok deleted me. They hated my videos, And I was like, fuck you, I don't watch it.
What I find most confusing about it is like when you're dancing, being able to dance really well, we're making fun of that now. Like, TikTok,
Right.
really awesome dance moves. How lame is that? I'm like, what? I would love that. I would love to be able to be good at TikTok. I'm just not.
Right. Right. Because in eighth grade, we got like a dance circle going at the dance. I mean, that was your opportunity to like make a name for yourself for the rest of the year.
Right. Come on. That's that shit right
You know?
TikTok, I actually think, is kind of in the sweet spot where I don't think the great dancers get kind of go out there. I think it's like you're a good dancer. And I think that's the perfect spot to be in a bar where it's like I have rhythm, but like you can't see me, you can tell I don't practice in mirrored rooms.
Right.
You can't see my feet.
I'm not awful. I don't look like I'm like trying to like I'm happy.
Right.
I also think and you guys have been around long enough to probably feel this exhaustion of like another app. Like we stupidly 10 years ago put all our eggs in the Twitter basket because we're writers and we're doing jokes, and now Twitter is like dinosaur type shit. But then Instagram came along and I was like, oh my god, I'm not like good looking enough for Instagram. And then Snapchat, and now there's another one. I'm like, how many are we gonna have to do? Where does it stop? And I don't think it ever stops. I think you're just gonna have to keep getting apps, right?
Yeah.
That was just
I mean,
that was the worst.
It's a little encouraging, but when you go back into TikTok, it's evolving. So it's not just about the dances. I mean, there's some funny people on there. I mean, it's the strangest version of funny, but I'm kind of into that. So I think that gives me hope that, I don't know the guy's name. I don't know anybody's name, but you got the one guy who's doing like the conversations between Obama and Trump, and that guy's funny.
That's like
he's very funny.
Comedic like skits, and if you know how to use the app, you could do a lot of cool video editing. It's just that when you can't use it, you're like, it's just children and fucking weird shit. No, it's actually a pretty cool tool if you know how to use it. But it is just like, put me out to pasture. I can't keep up anymore.
Well, it's like the stages of grief, it always ends in acceptance.
Right.
And that's what these stages of new platforms are for people who make a living on the internet. It's like you're like, no, are people going to care about this one? Are they going to care about this one? Oh yeah, now there's people signing with you who are only on TikTok, and then you're like, okay, we've got to do something.
Right.
It's not even just new platforms. It's even like new. I can't think of the word, but just like new little edits to already existing platforms. Like I remember when Twitter changed the start of the heart. That was the end. People were like, fuck it. I'm not hearting tweets. This is so stupid. And you get really passionate about it for like a day or so. And then you forget there was ever a different way.
Going from 140 characters to 280 characters was maybe the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life in the moment. I was like, this is the death of everything. And then, 2 days later, I don't even notice. So got to keep it moving, right?
2 days later, I'm like, thank God I have 220 characters here. I wouldn't be able to fit this.
Half.
Right.
So everything is still rolling with Good Mythical Morning. Everyone can still find it as per usual, Monday, Wednesday, Friday now. Anything else cooking you guys want to get out there to the people?
Ear Biscuits podcast still comes out every Monday. The video version comes out the following Sunday on its own channel. And we're throwing up some vlogs too on the Rhett and Link channel.
On the old Rhett and Link channel, yeah. And I will say, in non-internet related news, just a piece of advice. I don't know if you guys have gotten into puzzles or tried to. I think everybody thought that they were going to do puzzles. My wife bought a 1,500 piece puzzle, and I just told her, I was like, I'm not doing this. I don't do puzzles. The reason I hate puzzles is because the end product is just the same thing that's on the box already. There's no surprise. You're just trying to recreate the thing that is already there, right? It's the most anticlimactic thing that exists in all of entertainment. And it's like reading the last page of a book and then reading the book. Why would you do this? And not only that,
in a world that is consumed with no spoilers, a puzzle is just a giant spoiler.
It's a spoiler. Like, it could have a surprise in it. Like, what if when you put it together, there was like a new character that was on the puzzle? What about that? That's something I might be able to get into.
It's like watching the last scene of the movie and then saying, "Oh, by the way, you're never going to get to this.
Right.
You're going to stop."
Yeah.
Well, especially with a 1500. I mean, this was the War and Peace of puzzles, and it was a landscape with a house and a barn, and then it was the reflected landscape in a pond in the foreground, and so it was the same thing twice, except one part was a little bit blurrier. And so she's like holding up pieces, trying to figure out which one's blurrier, and I was like, "You're not going to do this." 2 weeks later, I see the puzzle is no longer on the dining room table, and I'm like, "Oh, what happened? Did you finish?" And she just looked at me. No response. She quit.
I was talking about this with my mom just last night. My mom did the same thing. I don't know the piece count or what the picture is of, but it was when quarantine started. It was like the whole world was like, we need bread, we need toilet paper, we need puzzles. Like for some reason, we were like, the only reason we haven't been doing puzzles is because we haven't been in quarantine. These are going to be great. I love.
You see the puzzle pillow?
No.
The puzzle pillow. You do this puzzle on like a almost like a felt mat, and then you can roll it up and take it somewhere and unroll it, and all the pieces stay exactly where you put them.
Why?
Because you got to be mobile with your puzzles, obviously, guys. Come on.
Hey,
that's an issue of quarantine. How do I get?
There's nothing worse than completing a puzzle and then realizing that you want to preserve it for no good reason. So you're going through all this trouble to preserve something you spent so much time on, understandably. But then you're doing that because my kids have made puzzles, and you get a piece of cardboard, and then you're like slowly trying to shift the whole thing over to just
for
then
what?
Put it up in the garage on top of the Christmas boxes. I don't know.
Exactly. Say, kids, just keep the box. It is the completed puzzle already.
You need something like you said. You finish the puzzle, and then you you flip it upside down, and it looks like something different, or you gotta be like a spoiler alert where I'm like a twist ending where I make a landscape, but if you look at it in this light, it's like the black guy with a huge dick, or you're like, oh my god. Then I'm in.
Or it just becomes money. Somehow you can spend it. I might be into a puzzle that is is a counterfeiting process.
I mean, the way the world's going, at some point, puzzles might be currency.
Right.
All right, boys. Well, we appreciate the time. Happy to hear business is still good. Everybody go check out Good Mythical Morning, the Rhett and Link vlogs, Ear Biscuits, the podcast, and stay safe out there.
Thank you, boys.
Stay safe,
You too, guys. Great to see you.